TRAI is making a move towards compensation for call drops. Is this a first because you bring in the global perspective, or do you see this happen in other markets as well? And how are you actually going to decide on, how much you're going to compensate and how will you compensate on call drops?
The easy answer to you is I haven't seen it in any other market, and personally I don't think that it would be the right solution, because again, as I said, the problem here is not intention. I mean, which operator would like to give a bad service to its own customers? Which leading operator would like to do that between us, Airtel and the others? So again, the problem is not will. There's a lot of issues that have to be sorted out, and we are sorting them out. But to your question is, I haven't seen this anywhere in the world. In a debate, the way I see it is there have been a debate in India which has been prompted by customers who are not happy, and they think this is positive because through the debate you find the solutions. And again, as I said, solutions have to cover all the aspects, have to cover the spectrum, have to cover the sites, the access to sites, the right of ways, all the elements that allow at the end to respect the laws of physics. And the laws of physics are that a certain density and a certain amount of spectrum can be utilized only up to a certain point. And so that's what we are working on.
Very excited about the Digital India initiative and how it's made a good start. We were in the Valley about 3 weeks back when the Prime Minister was visiting the US, and everybody what they saw, they say that the cost of spectrum is way too high for Digital India to be a success. Is that a view you share?
This is a perennial question that all policymakers have to face. Let me say two things. First, the best way to allocate spectrum is clearly auctions, because it's transparent, it's it's visible to everybody, and there's no doubt that auctions are the right way to allocate spectrum. The difficult choice that policymakers have is how large of an allocation of spectrum they can make, and again there's technical problems, but there's also political choices here, in order to make the spectrum affordable enough to then have a lot of investment following it. It's obvious that from our point of view, the more spectrum we can get at a lower price, the more we will invest in the country or in technology. So my position is India has maximized a lot of revenues out of spectrum auctions. I cannot judge whether it's too little or too much, because by definition I have to say it's too expensive. In my job I always have to say it's too expensive. The real question is, can the industry, can we as operators deliver the high quality, high speed, low latency data services that are required on very small allocation of spectrum? And this is, if you want, in my view, the challenge of India, because the more we get into data, forget for a second voice, but the more you get into data, the more we will need higher speeds, low latency, and people will depend on having service everywhere. Therefore, a little bit of thinking of how to make available more spectrum and with a longer term horizon is becoming very strategic. And this is the message I'm giving to all the politicians in the world, not just in India, which is think long term, give more spectrum, and don't try to maximize the specific auction revenues.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.